Welcome back to another episode of the Multiply Income. You're here with Ali, Erica, and the good brother Osman.
Okay. We got a nice one for the day. We got our guest Erica here. You know what I'm saying? She gonna bring us a nice topic, the mistakes people make with credit repair. She's Erica, the credit and money manager. Some know her, and the rest will get to know her. Without
Absolutely.
further ado, what you want to talk about, Erica? Nice to have you
Hi,
here.
thanks for having me, Oz and Ali. I'm glad to be here and to share with you guys the mistakes people make with credit repair. I know myself personally, I went through some credit challenges that being that I've, taken these steps, it made my credit do it like a 360.
Okay, so let's talk about some of these steps that made that 360 happen. We like the 360. I mean to turn all the way around for the good.
Absolutely. 360. When I said 360, I'm telling you, I went from sleeping on my mom's couch to like 30 something items on my credit report. Life happened, of course. And now I can say to you today that I have no negative items on my credit report. I have exceptional history. So I think I know what I'm talking about.
Well, going from the couch, I think you know what you're talking about. So we're gonna definitely
Yeah.
listen in. I hope everybody get their pen, paper, listen up. She about to drop some real heavy tips. And one thing I'm gonna say off of what she just said, remember, you could be down and come back up. Give them some jewels,
Definitely.
Erica.
Definitely. Okay. So one of the mistakes that people make with credit repair is they fail to dispute first. They want to go and talk to the creditors. They want to talk to the collection agencies without first disputing the items first.
Okay, so what you're saying is that if I get a bill in the mail or a notice in the mail from a collection agency and I pick up the phone and I start talking to them, you're saying that's a mistake?
Yes, that's a big mistake because if you have items on your credit report that you want to challenge, whether it's yours or not, you want to make sure that you are not forfeiting your rights and you dispute on paper. You need to document this process. And
Okay.
a lot of times people don't want to write the letters or send the letters in. They think that that's just too much work, but you have to document everything, especially if things are on your credit report inaccurate. You have to dispute it in writing anyways. And 9 times out of 10, it usually just comes off when you dispute it first. It's not going to come off if you talk to the collection agencies or the credit, the people that have your account. So you need to just dispute them first.
Okay. I think I get a drift of what you're saying because normally when you call that number that they got on that paper, one of the first things I hear is this call is being recorded, and any attempt that you make is to collect this debt. Any information we gather is to collect this debt. They keep repeating that it's about collecting for that debt.
Right. And a lot of times when it's at the collection agency stage, they've already sold your debt. They've already sold it. It's no law. It doesn't belong to them anymore. So they've sold it to a collection agency. So that's the big mistake, speaking to them because you didn't create the debt with them.
Okay, that's good information. We nine out of 10 people don't know that, so they
Right.
figure as long as I get a letter and they say I owe that, I just ain't gonna answer my telephone. That's about it. You
Or
know, that's,
they'll just pay it. They won't even dispute it when they knowingly didn't make the debt with that individual.
Yeah.
speaking on that, right? I just got a question
Hmm.
because I've heard people tell me that, well, I just go ahead and pay it because if I
Right.
pay it, it'll just go away. So if I pay it, does it go away? Is it good for me?
So you can pay it and it'll show paid as on your credit report, but guess what? It's still reporting negatively.
Okay. So basically, rushing to pay him, that's a mistake.
Big mistake. I can't tell you how many people come to me after the fact and I'm like, okay, well, sometimes they don't understand our process, so they want to go ahead and just think that if they pay this debt, it's going to go away, but it's not. You still have to dispute it.
So I
They're
pay
not
it
going
and
to
it's still
remove it.
negative.
They don't have right. They don't have time to remove it. Like you have to fight basically for your rights. You have to. They're not going to just automatically delete it.
Okay,
They'll update it. They'll update it, but they're not going to remove it.
okay. You mentioned rights, right? So when you mention rights, tell the people the where these rights come from, so they understand what you're saying when they say rights.
So basically, okay, let me explain that a big no-no is to dispute online because you will forfeit your rights. And then you can forfeit your rights with the Fair Credit Reporting Act
Okay.
to properly dispute your items when you
Oh,
do that.
okay. The Fair Credit Reporting Act. Okay, now people,
Yes.
you realize what she said. You got rights, so
Yeah.
remember that. Don't give them up, and don't dispute online like she said, and
No,
don't
you have no
talk to the
paper
government.
trail, no documentation,
No documentation.
and no
Okay,
paper trail.
and no
Yes,
paper trail.
right.
Okay, so you said take our time and go ahead and do the dispute on paper. So when you speak at a time, what type of time I'm looking at? What type of time that these people have to respond?
So when they don't respond in 30 days, because when you're disputing items, and sometimes you need to get help, seek help if you don't know what you're doing, and it's good to seek help. They can definitely get in contact with yourself or myself, and make sure that when they're documenting the process, if they don't respond in 30 to 40, let's just say 45 days, because it comes through the mailing. You know how our mail system is today.
Right.
So 30 to 45 days, they have to remove it. And sometimes they don't have time for that. So it doesn't matter if it's your data or not. It doesn't matter if it's accurate. They have to remove it. But a lot of times your credit report has a lot of inaccuracies. So we just like dispute any negative item, anything that's impacting your score negatively. That's what we're going to dispute.
I understand that because it affects your income. It shows the multiplier
That's true.
income. So when you got that bad
Right.
credit, anything that caused them interest rates to be higher, it affect your income. No matter what you think, it's affecting your income. What else you got
Right.
for America?
So another thing that I realized just, that people do that I consider a mistake is they don't have patience. They want it quick and in a hurry. But your credit is bad. If your credit is bad, it's not a quick fix. It may take in between 6 months to a year, depending on your credit profile. And everybody's profile is different.
That's you mentioned something real heavy. I'm gonna put my foot on the gas for a second, and speed up because I want everything done quick. We like everything done quick, so we want to speed the process. But you said patience. So why is it a
Patience.
must that we have patience?
Because you have to at least give the credit bureaus 30 to 45 days. And if you're trying to repair, restore, or rebuild your credit, there's cycles that you have to go through. So your report is updated. So you can't do that in just one cycle. I mean, you will see progress, you may see results, but if you're trying to get from a 500 to a 700, it's going to take a little bit of time.
Okay,
There's
okay,
5 parts to credit. We'll get onto that another call that you need to target. It's not just about removing negative items, it's 5 parts. So we'll get into that on another show.
okay. Yeah, we definitely gonna keep bringing that heat, but
Yeah,
so the people
yeah.
got to have
So
patience
they
because
gotta have
you
patience.
know we understand that everybody go through a crisis, and everybody crisis might come at a different time. But sometimes they say 100 steps in, 100 steps out. It might not be 100 steps out, but it might be at least 50 steps. So you have to be patient.
Got
So
it.
we
Right.
understand that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And remember, we talked about this before, Oz, when there's a difference between cleaning your credit and repairing your credit.
Right.
Because when you clean your credit, you can be deleting history, and you just need to be aware of that. That takes time because now if you don't have no history, you just put in trade lines on. It's like you have to make sure that you have history attached to it because there's a way to do that as well. But you should not want to delete all of your history because sometimes items can be corrected as far as late payments and things like that, and you don't want to mess up that history.
Uh,
Okay, that's a good thing to know that you got to keep some of your history, because like you say, it might be a late payment, get corrected. It might have been something you had for 5 years that you just try to take
Right,
off. But if you go ahead and just ask for forgiveness and they reverse that late, you got 5 year
right,
history now. So I
right.
understand what you're saying. What else you got? Any more jewels that you know
So,
about?
and the last and final thing I will say is don't give up. Don't give up. Those small steps. I like I always tell my clients, I tell them it takes anywhere between 20 minutes to an hour out of a month to work on your credit. That's not a lot of time, but people get so impatient and they want to give up because that's just too much. But when you look at the big picture and your goal, this can be done in 6 months to a year. If you don't do anything, you won't get anywhere. So
Yeah.
I will tell you, do not give up.
Yeah.
What you got for him, Ali? I know you wanted to say something.
Nah, that's strong knowledge right there. Uh, keep your documentation. Don't dispute online. Um, have some patience. Please have some patience. We so quick to hasten everything, and that's a
Yes.
problem, everybody. And just stick with it. Just stick with it. And I thank you, man. Always thank you. We appreciate you coming on to the show and dropping
Thank
these
you.
and giving these people this good information.
Most
Yeah, we
definitely.
definitely appreciated some jewels for the people. And I hope y'all had your paper and pen because what we're going to do is actually do like a quick recap of the points. So get your paper, get your pen, write this down. She's going to give it to you real fast and then, put it to action for some benefit. Give it to him real quick, Erica.
Absolutely. So Ali did a great job. He was paying attention because he knocked it out. But I'll go ahead
There
and
it
give
is.
it to you again. The first step is to make sure that you document everything and dispute first. Do not talk to these creditors. Do not talk to these collection agencies. Dispute first. Always dispute first. Dispute it in writing. And then also do not dispute online. You will forfeit your rights if you don't know what you're doing. And if you want to take it a step further, you can always get help. We're willing to help you. And to be patient. You gotta be patient. It didn't happen overnight, especially when your credit is pretty messed up. You need to have a little bit of patience with the process and do not give up. You got this.
There it is. Y'all heard that heat from Erica, the credit and money manager. So tell them how to get in contact with you, Erica. Then, we're going to give our contact out too.
Okay, great. To get in contact with me, my email is creditandmoneymanager@gmail.com, and my website is www.creditandmoneymanager.com.
Okay. And if y'all can't get in touch with Erica, you can hit me up and we'll get in touch. PermissibleLLC.com or contact us at PermissibleLLC.com. It's phone number 267-225-0602. We're going to keep bringing that heat. And, hopefully Erica come back and do some more shows on different topics like money managing. People need to know this. So
Yes.
thank you all for tuning in. What you got for them, Ali?
That's it, man. We be back with that heat.
We see y'all on the next one. Permissible LLC, multiply income.